All right. I'm trying to do a little too much here at once. I don't have I don't have my camera set up. I'm new to streaming, but let's just see, where we can go here. Um, Maybe just start with a bit of a rant, or just delve into some different different things that we may talk about, and things that may be true, maybe they're not. It is hard to tell these things. So people talk about the shapeshifters. Okay, that's good. The good old the crocodile people, as some scientists said, that did a study. I believe the CIA did a study back, oh, who knows when, probably in the 70s, 80s. And they said, oh, yeah, one of the dimensions we went to were crocodile people, reptilians. Some people say they are shape shifters. Other people have never heard of it. Although sometimes it is just like a glitch on a camera on live TV, and that's iffy, that's like when you get into the moon landing, it's like, oh yeah, okay. It's so hard to tell when it's on quote unquote live TV. Um, that's why I like to go back and edit this shit, because let's face it, it's not perfect. Um, but there's the ancient astronaut theory, which is just, it's like a dead horse at this point. I do understand that, but I think that that's a good place to start. The ancient astronaut theory, just the idea that in ancient times there actually were, there is still evidence, carvings. There's I can't remember if it's the Mayans possibly, or could I do know that the ancient Sumerians, they worshipped a deity that came out of space, the Anunnaki, as many say. Uh, and these were gods who came down, or beings who came down as gods, and manipulated the DNA of human, in order, to create. The one thing is that, mine the earth for gold. One of those, spinoffs of that being, not because it's valuable, because us humans, we got to have gold. They say that's programmed into our DNA. Well, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit programmed in. But serious time there. But honestly, so what we have. So yeah, but one of the theories that, if that was to be true, the Sumerian, the this, that, the mining for gold, we do know Samaria was there. Some of the oldest writing, the oldest texts. Anyway, so they do say that it was to seed, which sounds familiar, doesn't it? Cloud seed, kind of like what they're doing in our atmosphere. Although, so apparently they had maybe destroyed their atmosphere, and they needed a lot of gold and probably other rare earth elements that probably whoever, they didn't know how to describe them at the time. But they needed this gold in the atmosphere to help somehow, repair it. So terraforming, that's really interesting, right? That's cool. So that's like ancient terraforming, first being spot of, or spoken of in one of our earliest texts. Cool. Okay. Anyway, so let's move on. Then you got like modern, like modern UFO phenomena. I mean, I'm gonna back it up though. Like, I mean, there's paintings. I can't think of who it is. Soon I'll actually have videos. Maybe by the time this post, I'll have videos. I don't know, with images, along with what I'm saying. But as of now, I'm just kind of working with my phone. I've got five flipping computers, and well, I can't figure out how to get one of them to work properly with the sound card. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna buy a new tower. Um, so anyways, they have old paintings that have UFOs in them. I mean, like proper high dollar expensive paintings that would have been in probably the homes of the royal, with a flying saucer in the background. Questionable. Like everything, it's all questionable. What is real? Anyways, that's the ADD. I roll with it. So anyways, But so we come into the 20th century. I mean, through the 60s, after the atom bomb, and on. I mean, especially in that 70s during the Cold War, we were just there were discs everywhere, all sorts of different types of not what they call them now UAPs, but uh UAPs, I believe, or UAVs. Anyways, UFOs. Come on, if you're old like me, UFO representing. Um, but so we're seeing those, yeah, and then had this thing in 2024 in November. I think it was November. I don't know, right before the election, which is very convenient. And these orbs come down, and it's funny because it's like it's nothing. It's nothing. Big brother up. He's like, we got other stuff going on. Look, I'm over here. Y'all are, look over here. I'm over here. Y'all look over here. I'm over here. So we don't know. But so that's really interesting. But then it comes down to here's something. The Fermi paradox. This highlights the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life existing in the universe and the lack of evidence for it. If the universe is teeming with life, why haven't we detected any signals or evidence of alien civilizations? How come, if it's there, how come we haven't detected it? The paradox fuels both optimism and pessimistic views on the likelihood of alien visitation. So let's just get this straight. That is a perfect institutional, I would call institutional answer to the two things I said before, these two other bullet points, the ancient astronaut theory and the modern UFO phenomena. That's what makes it a paradox. The fact that there is actual evidence and then modern day, there was evidence before, and so there's evidence now and before. The paradox is well, us, the scientists, the scientists that injected everybody and that kill untold millions a day, that do so many experiments in Africa. We won't get into that anyways. This paradox that they speak of is self-created. They've created the paradox in order to to confuse you. I mean, because not even confuse you. It's not even confusing to me. But the fact is that we, as humans, we're sheep. We want to be we want to follow. We want to be shepherded. Shepherded. Is that a word? I don't know. But we do. We want to be herded. We want to be part of the herd. That's just what it is. You could have a certain deity, figure, idol, movie star, whatever you want to call it, and they could say, "Hey, I have $20 to pass out here, and if you take the $20 from me, then I will love you forever, and you will always have my blessings." Or you have a person in rags on the street who has been said to represent the complete opposite, and is passing out millions of dollars. And it's just, let's call it a preacher. A lot of people hate Christians. Let's call it a preacher. You got a preacher and a rabbi and a Buddhist monk. They're standing there and they're like, "Hey, we have $1 million. I have $1 million for you." And "Son, by the grace of God, I do. I have $1 million for you." The majority of the people would actually be going into the line of the idol, of the famous person, just because that's what the herd is doing. That is the status quo. How did I segue from ancient theory, modern UFO theory, or phenomena along with this paradox? Because paradox is the word that I want to focus on. Paradox. It's a paradox. The paradox is that why do we just blindly follow? Was it programmed into us?